The World Bank President Ajay Banga and his team were on the island of Zanzibar today in East Africa to review the policy and financial commitments of its International Development Association. The midterm review of the IDA20, which is expected to shape the IDA21 negotiations, was focused on a green, resilient, and inclusive future, in particular for Frontier Africa. Let's listen to a few of the presentations.
The International Development Association was charged with a simple yet noble mission: to raise standards of living and build momentum for growth in developing countries. The landscape we face today is far more complex. We have declining progress in our fight against poverty. We have an existential climate crisis. We have food insecurity, fragility, a fledgling pandemic recovery, and conflict that touches lives well beyond the front lines. This is a perfect storm of intertwined challenges that actually exacerbate inequality. Meanwhile, in the next 10 years, 1.1 billion young people across the global south will become working-age adults. And that same period, and in the same countries, we are only expected to create 325 million jobs. The cost of inaction is unimaginable in those hundreds of millions of young people's hopes, ambitions, and desires for a better life. How can we hope to make even adequate progress with the 600 million people in Africa, 36 million of whom are here in Tanzania, who still don't have access to reliable electrical connections and supply? And put simply, we cannot. Without electricity, there is no social, no economic development. So to confront these intertwined development challenges, our only option is to respond aggressively, simultaneously, and comprehensively. And that is why we have adopted a new vision at the bank: to create a world free of poverty on a livable planet. With this vision, what we are trying to do is to widen the aperture of the World Bank and our people, and at the same time get the motivation to demand that we expand the scope of IDA. Many of you came with the same commitment to purpose. It is what compelled me to be here and begin this journey of reimagining concessional finance together. This will be difficult, but if we really want to incentivize change and help countries with their development goals, we cannot just wish it. We need to fight for it. We need to move beyond projects to platforms. We need to replicate and scale success. We need to steal shamelessly and share seamlessly. For example, not too long ago, I visited a town in Nigeria where IDA had helped fund a mini grid system. The electricity it generated allowed small farmers to do their work in half the time. It enabled shopkeepers to accept digital payments and gave diabetics regular access to climate-controlled insulin. And with the new revenue flowing into the community, the school got a new roof, street lamps improved safety, and classroom enrollment increased. That is the real power of electricity.
This event marks a critical juncture in our journey toward sustainable development and actualization of our collective inspiration for economic growth and poverty reduction. IDA is a major resource of concessional resources that are vital for countries that have few other means to fund their development. By providing these resources, IDA enables development countries to invest in areas that can have transformative impact on their economies and population, ultimately contributing to poverty reduction and sustainable development. Since its establishment, IDA has provided more than $530 billion for investment in over 115 countries. Given its strategic role, it is in most of our developing economies, It is therefore vividly clear that discussions on the future of IDA are a necessity in sustaining our end-to-end success and increasing the impact of IDA in our countries. I'm glad that this MTL provides us with an opportunity to reflect on the progress achieved, reviewing and adjusting of our strategies and addressing emerging challenges with which we are going to maintain overall effectiveness of IDA in mission to alleviate poverty in the most vulnerable nations. Ladies and gentlemen, in Tanzania, IDA has over the years supported us in various areas of equitable and sustainable growth. To mention a few, that energy, transport, education, health, social protection, water, urban resilience, housing, ICT, and good governance.
We appreciate IDA's support to transforming Tanzania's socio-economic landscape. IDA's portfolio has grown substantially and covers every sector and region in Tanzania, including Zanzibar. While here, you will also have a unique opportunity to witness how Tanzania's partnership with IDA is delivering on the ground by lifting millions out of poverty and driving transformative changes. To illustrate, IDA's $200 million support to our rural electrification program helped Tanzania to achieve one of the fastest access expansion rates in Africa over the past decade. Though initially targeting 2.5 million people, since 2017, we have ensured access to electricity for more than 4.5 million people, as well as rural hospitals and schools. This access has created employment and business opportunities and improved outcomes for students in remote areas. This program was so impactful that it attracted additional financing of $335 million